Hey everyone, welcome to our very first virtual event, Integrations Palooza. We're thrilled to have you join us today with one of my favorite integration partners, StayFi. Since 2018, StayFi has been the leading provider of Wi-Fi marketing operations technology for short-term rentals. We've got a jam-packed session ahead, but before we dive in, let's go over a few key points to make sure we'll all get the most out of today's experience. First off, to fully embrace Integrations Palooza, we prepared a digital guidebook of the event just for you. If you don't have it already, you can find it in the links tab along with some other nifty resources we'll be mentioning throughout today's session. Next, you'll see a few polls popping up. We're super curious to learn more about you and how we can tailor the session to best suit your needs. Also, we've set up a questions tab where you can find in the bottom right of your screen, you can freely ask any questions or share comments during the webinar here, and our awesome Hostfully team will be monitoring this tab, ready to interact and bring your sessions up with live partners, StayFi. Hey, and don't forget about the emoji reactions in the middle of your screen. Let us know if you're enjoying what you're hearing or if something isn't quite clear. Before we jump into the exciting session with StayFi, I wanted to mention a quick word about Hostfully. We're a comprehensive vacation rental management platform designed to streamline every aspect of managing your rental properties. Whether you're managing a large portfolio or just a few properties, Hostfully is here to fit your operation style with over 90 integrations at your fingertips. Plus, our digital guidebooks are a game changer for enhancing guest satisfaction and reducing the need for back and forth communication. Check out some examples in the Palooza guidebook, which you can find in the links tab. Moving on to some exciting news at Hostfully. We've achieved the elite partner status with Vrbo, the highest level of partnership recognition. We're also proud to be Preferred Plus partners with Airbnb and Premier partners with Booking.com. We're also always looking out for our user security. So if you're a Hostfully user, please remember to set up the new two-factor authentication to keep your account secure. Also for Hostfully customers, I want to remind everyone about our invaluable weekly open office hours. Whether you need help with onboarding or are looking to improve your setup as an onboarded customer, our onboarding and customer success teams are here to assist during these two different sessions. Not a Hostfully customer yet? We'd love to show you the ropes with a one-on-one demo. Now I'd like to pass the mic over to Arthur Coker, the CEO and founder of StayFi. Arthur, stage is yours.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, and thanks for having us. Hostfully has been an amazing partner. And I'm just excited to be able to share StayFi with everyone here. Taking a look at the poll questions, I see we are at, in the question, what percentage of your total bookings are direct bookings? Over 80% of you say 10% or less. So I think what we're going to talk about today is going to be really helpful in learning about how we can increase our percentage of direct bookings over time and decrease our dependence on OTAs like Airbnb and Vrbo. So that's really why StayFi was founded, because we want to help every short-term rental operator, whether they have one property or 5,000 properties, develop an independent brand and become less dependent on those third-party channels. And the way we do that is in a few ways. Number one is with our Wi-Fi marketing tool. So StayFi provides a technology, something you've seen lots of different places, that helps you collect emails from every single guest, not just the booker. And the way we do that is through the Wi-Fi. So when you use StayFi, it's just like when you go to a coffee shop, an airport, or hotel. When you join the Wi-Fi, a captive portal on the guest device will appear, and then they have to enter their information to get access to the internet. That way, if you have a home that sleeps 8, 10, 15, 20 people, we're going to collect emails and other information, not just from the booker, but everybody staying at the short-term rental. And then within StayFi, we also have our own email and text marketing tools that integrate with Hostfully. So not only can we help you market to the data we're collecting, we'll actually bring in all the data you have at Hostfully and create one guest database to do that marketing from. And we have a ton of helpful tools in our marketing tools to make direct bookings easy for you and getting those guests to come back and book again and again. And then finally, because we're a Wi-Fi tool, we have some really cool Wi-Fi features as well that I'll be showing you, things like occupancy alerting, outage alerting, so you can make sure not only your home's protected, but that the internet is always working well and fast for all your guests. We work with operators of all sizes, like I mentioned before. So you can have one unit or you can have over 400 with StayFi, and it's fine. We work with operators in any country around the world. So US, Canada, Europe, South America, Asia, Australia. We have customers everywhere, all over the world. And then finally, we are primarily a self-service platform, always there to help you if needed. But there are no contracts or minimums. So you can literally today go on StayFi, create an account, take a look around, and then you won't be charged anything until you actually start using our service in one of your properties. What does the integration with Hostfully do? Because that brings a lot of extra value to the platform. So there's three things that it does primarily. Number one, it will make setup really quick and easy because we'll import all the properties from your Hostfully account and any other important information about those homes into the StayFi platform, pre-populating it with all the different homes that you're managing. The second is when we do occupancy alerting, those become based on the current reservation. So we actually look at the number of people booked in each one of your properties. And if the number of unique Wi-Fi users ever exceeds that number, we'll let you know. So it will say, hey, your current reservation at X property is for 6. Right now we see that there's 10 people staying here, and not just devices, but actually unique individuals. And then that's something you should be aware of. And then finally, and most importantly, in addition to helping you collect data through the Wi-Fi, we'll screen and import any real emails out of Hostfully and bring them into our email marketing tool, centralizing all your guest data into one place so you can do effective campaigns to all the data you've ever collected. This is what the guest experience looks like with StayFi. So they would come to one of your properties, they would select the guest Wi-Fi network. This custom branded captive portal would appear on the guest device. They obviously enter in their name, email, phone number, other data you want to collect. And then once they've connected, that device is good to go for 30 days. So guests typically only do this once per device per stay. We have the ability to screen out children's emails by putting age filters or an 18 plus checkbox. You can customize all the terms and conditions you want guests to agree to when they're joining the Wi-Fi. And we also screen for real emails. So if you put in fake garbage emails here, they actually get rejected by our software through a partnership with a tool called Zero Bounce, so that we're only collecting real emails that won't bounce through the Wi-Fi. We find that we collect anywhere between 80 to 90% of adults' emails during the course of the stay. So if you have 10 guests in a property, I would expect 8 or 9 emails from that stay. Then once the guest logs in, they're taken to another tool within StayFi called the home page. This is a page where you can list all of the useful links about this property. Think of it like a link tree if you've ever seen one of those. So on there, you could have a link, for instance, to your Hostfully guidebook for this property, a link to book this property again. And then we have some upsell tools also built within StayFi that you can leverage if you want to increase revenue during the course of the stay. And then, of course, using our marketing tools, you can take that page or any other information and email and text it to guests automatically right when they log into the Wi-Fi, so they have that information for the whole stay. This is the homepage. So like I mentioned before, this is where we take guests after they log into the Wi-Fi, and you can customize this by property. Some of the things that you can place there are your guidebooks. So Hostfully guidebooks are super popular, for instance, so we see a ton of people linking to their guidebook here. Obviously, we want people to book the property again, visit your website. And then we have partnerships with 2 companies, the Hostco and Viator, that you can do upsells with right here. This page is a standalone website that you can also share via email, text, or other messaging. And that way you can send this vital information not just to the booker, but every single guest staying with you right when they log into the Wi-Fi. And I'll show you how to do that in StayFi in a few minutes. The 2 upsell partners that are built into the platform and are free. The first is called the Hostco. The Hostco lets you sell your own goods and services as well as third-party services from their vendor network, of which you'll get a commission from all of those things. Things like extra guest fees, early check-in, late checkout, pool heating, mid-stay cleans are all very popular services that customers are selling. And then they have a ton of vendors as well, where you just offer this link, and when people book, you get a commission. And then we also have a partnership with Viator, where you'll get an 8% commission off any tours and activities that you sell through here. And what's nice is because we have the ability to reach every guest through the Wi-Fi, we can make sure this vital information is getting in front of not just the booker, but everybody staying in your properties. So some of the success we've seen with this tool, which was very new that we just launched a few months ago, some people are on track to earn up to 20,000 in additional revenue per listing by selling upsells. Of course, that's selling a lot of their own goods and services, things like late checkout, early check-in. And then, of course, being able to present, for instance, the Hostfully guidebook to every guest. Typically, people are sending a guidebook like that just to the guests, the booker, before that they stay. This way, you can make sure every single guest has that in their hands the moment that they log into the Wi-Fi. I'm going to skip this because I'm actually going to show you this in the tool. But I'll show you how you can automate email and text campaigns to everyone who logs into the Wi-Fi. So essentially, you gather data from every guest, and then within StayFi, we have tools where you can not just send an email or text at that point, but you can follow up with multiple emails over the course of months or even years, so that every single guest that stays with you is enrolled in a series of marketing messages that are proven to drive repeat direct bookings. What does email look like within StayFi? So like I mentioned, we have our own email marketing tool within our platform as well. We also integrate with a ton of third-party tools, things like MailChimp, Constant Contact, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, all Blue Tent, etc. So if you have an email tool that you love, you can connect at no extra charge to that tool, and then all the data you collect through the Wi-Fi will be sent there automatically. However, if you don't do email, or you're looking to get started, or maybe you're just made a MailChimp account and haven't done that much in it, we have an email tool that's tailored for the short-term rental industry. And the added advantage, of course, is with our tool, you also get all the data you've ever collected in Hostfully, which will be imported automatically. And for customers that connect Hostfully, we have a special offer where the email marketing tool is free up to 200 contacts. So that means when you get started, you're not going to be paying anything. And then for that, you get unlimited email sends. So up to 200 contacts, you can send unlimited emails for free. And then once your list goes over that, I believe it's $7.50 a month up to 500 contacts. So it's still very cheap and affordable, cheaper than alternatives like MailChimp. So you can start emailing those folks, not just the data we collect through the Wi-Fi, but also any data that you're collecting in Hostfully. Here's an example of what an automation in our email tool can look like. So this is an example of what someone is sending when a guest logs into the Wi-Fi. So you can see here, this is from a customer called Juniper Holiday and Home. Guest logs into the Wi-Fi, and right away they get sent this email that explains and introduces their brand. They're thinking, most of our guests are booking on Vrbo or Airbnb. They don't know who Juniper is. They haven't learned about our brand. So we're going to show them and give them multiple touch points to build up that brand awareness so they know the reasons why it's advantageous to come back and book directly for their next stay. So here they very nicely introduce themselves, and they happen to sell a ton of concierge services through their own platform. So they advertise that heavily in this first welcome email, because this is obviously typically at the very beginning of the stay when the guest logs into the Wi-Fi for the first time. Then they have, if you look here on the right, this is a little preview of the visual builder. They wait 5 days, and then they send another email to those guests. And you can keep, adding 30 days, and that way every single person that's joins the Wi-Fi, you enroll in this series of messages, and they can get emails over the course of 6-9 months. And that way you can sit down, build emails one time, and know that every single guest that stays with you is going to receive this series of emails. So you're not as dependent on sending monthly newsletters. And here's an example of like a monthly newsletter that this company started sending once they hit over 500 contacts in their email database. So it's just a nice way to show, here are our properties, here's what we stand for. Here are, new properties that you can stay at. Here's information about our concierge, and then exploring all the neighborhoods they operate in. So this is just an example of some of the templates we have within our email tool that let you send these beautiful emails to all the guests, whether that data came from Hostfully or came through the Wi-Fi data collection. We also have a text marketing tool within StayFi. SMS is a great additional channel to add on top of email. Because while email will get anywhere between like 20 and 50% open rates, text marketing has a 98+% open rate. So if you send a text through StayFi, your guest is going to see that information. And we have 3 types of campaigns with texting and StayFi. One is called a welcome campaign. Very simply, it's a text message that's sent to the guests when they log into the Wi-Fi. We have the ability to send bulk messages, so you can send a message to everyone who's ever logged into the Wi-Fi. And then finally, you have review campaigns where you can actually screen for 5-star reviews and push those to your own website, Google, or Facebook. And all the texting is credit-based within StayFi, so it's not an extra subscription. You just pay for what you send. And we have the ability to text any number, no matter which country it's from. Texting in StayFi is also just one way. So you set up an autoresponder. So if someone does text back, you send them a standard message of the best way to contact you. We're not trying to be a new place to talk to every guest through. So we really want to just refer people to your preferred method of communication if they do text back. Now I'm actually going to shift over and share my screen so I can actually jump into StayFi so I can actually show you, what this all looks like in real life. So this is the StayFi platform. There is a lot of areas of this application, but I'm just going to highlight a few. First, I just want to show you how easy it is to build these splash pages and home pages for each of your properties so guests can see, and feature your brand. So this is our splash page builder. You can see here it's super easy to customize the image, text that every guest will see when they log into the Wi-Fi. You can preview here on the right. You can see here we have a checkbox for receiving email newsletters, another checkbox for SMS. These can both be pre-checked, so you'll get like 89% opt-in rate, and guests only log in through this once when they want to get on the Wi-Fi. This is how easy it is to edit your home pages. So we actually import the image from Hostfully, for instance, to populate this page, and then you can customize all these links to book again, a link to your guidebook, which you can even support PDF guidebooks if you have something simple you want to share. And then we have links to both the Hostco and Viator, which I'm actually going to jump in and show you so you can see what these look like. So like I mentioned before, these pages are standalone websites, so I can just copy this page URL, open it in a new window, and this is what the guest sees when they log into the Wi-Fi after they go through the splash page. This is the amenity store we set up here with the Hostco. So you can see here I have all these options that I'm selling, as well as all of these third-party vendors that guests can order, and we'll all get a commission. And that way, all of these great services are at the fingertips of every single guest once they log into the Wi-Fi, as well as if you send this page other ways to guests. And then this is what the Viator tours look like within StayFi. So super easy to pick like which tours you want to feature through Viator, and then it gets presented in the homepage to guests. So they can see, all your favorite local tours and activities you like to recommend, and you'll get an 8% commission from all of these. And, we have property managers that are making hundreds of extra dollars a month per stay by featuring these upsells. And the key part of where StayFi really helps is because we can get that information in front of not just the booker, but every single guest staying there. Then I wanted to show you quickly like what the email tool looks like in real life. So this is the email marketing tool within StayFi. And let's say I want to create an automation to go to every single guest. That's also really easy to do in our drag and drop builder here. And what's really cool about these templates is if I go in and edit, let's say this email, this welcome automation can be used for all properties because I can use dynamic fields. So you can see here, it's actually going to go welcome to property name. And let's say I want to share a link to that homepage that I set up for this property, which has all my resources. You can go in here, custom fields, Wi-Fi guests, and you can insert the homepage URL dynamically. So you have a ton of ability to customize a welcome email so that it works for every single property, even if you manage 100, where all the custom URLs and names, property names will be inserted dynamically. This is just a quick view into our text marketing tool. So similarly, you can create a really great customizable welcome text message sent to every guest when they log into the Wi-Fi. And similarly, you can insert all these dynamic fields. So all those upsells are in everybody's SMS inbox right when they log into the Wi-Fi. Now I just kind of want to show you what a real StayFi account looks like, because that was all in staging. So I wanted to share this customer's account who actually uses Hostfully. So you can see here within StayFi, it's super easy to find Hostfully, connect it, add your properties. And then for each property, like I mentioned, the way you set StayFi up is through the Wi-Fi. And the way that works is you purchase a device from us called an access point that plugs in at each property. And you buy those right here in our store, where we recommend a device for each size property. Once they're installed, that's when you have the ability to monitor the Wi-Fi. So you can see here the internet's online in all my properties. Under connected devices, I can even see which devices are there. I can set up offline alerting so I know if the internet ever goes down. So all the ability to monitor your Wi-Fi is also within StayFi, which is really fantastic, especially if you've had issues with Wi-Fi going out and you not knowing about it from different guests. And then within the email marketing tool, under subscribers, not only do I have all the guests from the Wi-Fi system, but every time there's a real email collected in Hostfully, that's going to get added to a separate list. So all the data that you want is going to be centralized here, so you can do all your guest marketing from one easy-to-use email marketing tool. I know that was a ton of information, so that's really everything I wanted to share right now about StayFi, the setup process, splash pages, home pages, email, text marketing. The last thing I will show you is we have a special page, which is stayfi.com/partners/hostfully, where you can sign up for StayFi and get a special discount. So not only will you get a free email marketing account, which can be used for up to 200 contacts with unlimited sending, you'll also get 50% off all their StayFi tools for the first 3 months when you use this Hostfully code. What's really cool about this is you can start email marketing with just the data you have in Hostfully. So you can sign up, open the email account, import data from Hostfully, and then over time you could decide you want to add the Wi-Fi marketing piece and then add that to your account to collect even more data. So the email marketing is totally free to get started and available with all the data you already have in Hostfully or data you want to import from other sources. And with that, I know we have a ton of questions, so let me just pop over to there so I can see what people are asking. So the first question I see here is, do the access points need to be purchased through StayFi, or can I use one I already have, or can they be purchased elsewhere? That is a fantastic question. So through StayFi, we work with one particular brand, which is called Ubiquiti Unify, which looks like this. They make a ton of other models as well that we don't sell, but we support. And so if you have Ubiquiti Unify, we can work with your existing setup. It's very common if you have professionally installed Wi-Fi in, let's say, like a motel or in a large home, or you're a bit of an IT enthusiast, we can work with any Ubiquiti Unify equipment out there in the wild, or you can purchase it from us. In many other countries, which we don't ship to, let's say you're in the UK, you can purchase Unify equipment there, and then we will connect to it. So as long as you have a Ubiquiti Unify, we can work with your equipment, and you don't need to purchase it from us. Someone asked, is the email marketing functionality only for captured contacts during a guest stay, or can we upload a list of contacts to send marketing? You can upload a CSV to the email tool. You can pull in data from Hostfully or use the data you collect via Wi-Fi. However, the text marketing is only data that we collect through the Wi-Fi, because for text marketing, there are like serious penalties if you text people who have not opted in. So we're very conservative with text marketing. With email, you just have to certify that these people you're allowed to email. With texting, we're just a lot more cautious. And so we have to collect the data, get the affirmative opt-in in our system to let you text them. Please elaborate regarding network devices needed. I currently use Eero. Yeah, so like I mentioned, you're going to need Ubiquiti Unify devices in order to use the Wi-Fi marketing piece of StayFi. When you set up the Wi-Fi in a property, you can run your existing Wi-Fi as a parallel network, Our devices broadcast a new guest network that all you have to do is tell guests to join this network and not the old, let's say, Eero network. In very large properties, our devices mesh very similarly to an Eero. So if you have a 4,000 square foot home, let's say, you would purchase 2 of our long range devices. They would mesh together, and that would give you coverage of the entire property. Someone asked about network passwords. You do not need a network password to join the Wi-Fi to get the captive portal, but you can add that if you'd like. So we have the option for a password, but you do not need a password when you set up the guest network with StayFi. Someone asked about Hostco and Viator, if they're included. They are included and they are free. Viator, you will get 8% of all of the bookings made through the link. I believe their cookie length is 30 days. So a guest, even if they click that and come back 3 days later and miss a booking, you will still get the credit. The Hostco is free to use. However, they do take a percentage. So like if you sell late checkout for like $50, I think they take about $3 or $4 as a fee. So they just take a small percentage of all the transactions. But there is no cost to use the platform, and it's totally free to have access to all of their tools. I believe that. Mm-hmm.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
One question here. What kind of support does the team offers when setups? There any onboarding training, anything like that?
Yeah, great question. So if you go to StayFi, I'll show you a few things. The first is on our schedule a demo page. If you are interested in learning more and have like specific questions, you can either register to our weekly webinar or book a one-on-one sales demo with one of our sales folks. After that, we have 7-day-a-week support during business hours. And you can schedule time with that team when it comes to onboarding, device setup, questions about marketing within StayFi. So they're available 7 days a week to support individuals with whatever they need in getting or using the StayFi platform.
Sounds great. And one more from my analyst for now. If people's like not like that tech savvy as I am, because maybe you see me young, but I'm not that tech savvy. With anything related to the marketing, are there some guidances we can use for getting started with email marketing campaigns or anything that could help us promote the email marketing feature?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, we have some guides within our support documentation about and videos about how to get started with email, how to set up a first automation. And then we also have a partnership within StayFi with a company called Switchback. So under Switchback Services, if you want to pay a professional email marketing agency to help you with email campaigns, Switchback is our preferred partner. And they're an email marketing agency that only works with short-term rental operators. And within StayFi, they have 2 packages. One is a light onboarding, one is a premium onboarding. The light onboarding will include migrating lists over, setting up these DKIM and SPF settings, which is needed to email from your own domain, and then give you a 1 hour like one-on-one training where they'll help you build a template or do anything within the platform that goes beyond what our team more supports with like how to use it, but we don't build content for our customers. So Switchback is the agency where if you want them to actually help you build and create content, they can do that for you. In the premium onboarding, you'll actually make a special custom branded template that you can reuse, as well as a guest Wi-Fi welcome email, and show you how Google Analytics works as well. And they actually manage a lot of our customers' emails in a full service. So they actually, for starting at $500, they'll actually send email newsletters monthly on your behalf, obviously consulting with you. So the StayFi team has a lot of helpful resources when it comes to building emails yourself. We can help you show you how to use the team. But if you kind of want to go to the next level where you're getting support in terms of actually building campaigns, I would recommend, looking into Switchback, who can handle that for you either on a one-time basis or an ongoing basis.
Awesome. That's great. Thanks for those answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Arthur. This is thank you all so much, and thank you, Arthur, for this. This is amazing. I'm really glad I learned all this. It's
I know
fantastic.
I crammed a lot in here, so I know that was a lot for everybody. So I encourage you, if you're, you can always rewatch this, or if you have more questions, please go to stayfi.com and book a demo, and you can get all your questions answered one-on-one, and also our team can advise you on like what specific equipment you would need for each of your listings, depending on its size, layout, current hardware, etc.
Excellent. Thank you all so much for joining today. We can't wait to see more sessions. We have a couple more today to watch. A special thank you to Arthur and StayFi. I really do love StayFi. I have a couple questions I'll save for another time. We'd also love to hear your thoughts on today's session. Please fill out the feedback form link below. Your input is invaluable to us. And as a thank you, each submission will be entered to win a free Hostfully guidebook subscription for a year. Also, don't miss out on the rest of this week's sessions or catch up on any you might have missed by registering for the event. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a wonderful weekend. It's great to have you here. Take care.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.